Jane Beale feels lonely stuck at number 45, so Ian enlists Stacey to give her a makeover. But will that be enough to ease her misery? Carmel asks her out for a drink, but Ian has to take her home after an incident mortifies her, and he's not helping with his distant attitude. Jane just wants to be a normal couple again, but Ian is reluctant and later comes clean to Billy, who gives him food for thought. Stephen isn't happy when Jane suggests she could help out with Beale's books, and he complains she's in the way when she helps out on the phones. Kathy supports Pam when she decides to visit Simon's mum Diane, but Ben is upset when he hears what she's done, while Les says they could have jeopardised the whole trial. Later the Cokers go to court. Will Paul's killers plead guilty? Meanwhile, Whitney helps Lee prep for a job interview amid disappointment her hen is going to be a dud, and Linda kicks out Babe when she thinks she's stalling over the blackmail money. Next we cop what's happening in Corrie. David deflects Gail's worry by going to grief counselling, but later heads to the dog to find Macca. Suddenly he's grabbed and beaten senseless. Nick is livid about David's vigilantism, but he can't talk sense to him, and soon he's arrested for perverting the course of justice by plastering posters of Clayton around the street. Meanwhile, Mac is in hospital with a head injury, and that's also added to David's charge sheet, although he's soon ruled out by police. David learns he's no longer required to give evidence against Clayton, and he heads to the hospital to deal with gravely ill Macca. Vinny's furious with Eileen when she spends a pile on tiles, and he's wound up further when she reveals she's resigned from streetcars to work with him. Eileen's suspicions are roused when Vinny tells her he's meeting a buyer for the Lakeview apartment. She knows Rita's already signed a contract for it. Todd and Phelan try to reassure her, and he lays on a romantic meal to persuade her. Steve and Tim bicker over new BFF, top county footballer Tommy Orpington, but the relationship sours when Tim accidentally injures him in a kickabout. Finally, we look at events in Emmerdale. Charity's nervous about Kane's reaction when Debbie calls to say she's staying in France, and she's right to be. He goes ballistic, smashing the back room of the Woolly, then pushing her up against the wall. Charity's had enough and says she's leaving the village, but Akama Kane says he wants to go with her, then tells Moira they're moving abroad. Moira, meanwhile, has changed her tune about the farm. She wants to stay. James and Emma have started to move into Wiley's when a drunk Moira spills something big to Ross. Kerry asks Joni to go with her when she has the termination, and she borrows a car from the garage, but Dan and Ross head off to search for it. Dan sees Kerry exiting the clinic and wonders if she's ill. Will she tell him the truth? Well, later Dan is raging and refuses to forgive her.